Hello and welcome to the G3 Pulse podcast. Joining me today is Mateja Popovic, CEO of Fincore. Mateja, thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you, Will. Thanks. Yeah, nice to meet you.
So let's start with a no questions. I've not really come across Fincore as of yet. So where does the Fincore story start? Where did the idea for the business come from? Who are the founders? What are the solutions? Just kind of an overarching view.
Yeah, for sure. So Fincore is Fincore is almost the version 2.0 of the company. So the founders, Frederick and Soren, their story really started in a company called Finsoft, along with a bunch of other previous founders. And they've kind of come out of finance. They've been building risk management software within banks for many years. They kind of left altogether to do it of their own accord and came up with the super original name, Finsoft, for financial software. And then through that kind of risk management software they've been building for banks, they kind of fell into spread betting because, spread betting was kind of getting big at the time, and a lot of companies, online companies, especially in the UK, were starting out and needed similar risk management software. So from that, they kind of built spread betting platforms, started building fixed odds betting platforms called Margin Maker 1, Margin Maker 2, which were kind of quite market-leading software at the time. And so Finsoft was doing these had these two parallel threads going for a long time, fintech and betting and gambling software. So Finsoft was sold in 2007, and Fincore was spun out of that as the fintech arm. And around 2013, I think, Fincore decided to re-enter the sports betting and gaming market. So, providing initially support and consultancy services to the old Finsoft customers, helping with their platforms and so on. But we're at a stage where we're kind of, as Fincore, launching our new platform, Tree. So it's our kind of modular universe of software for operators in sports betting, gaming, and lottery, and kind of finally putting together all these years of experience, because this team is kind of stuck together for 20 odd years now. So it's really kind of building upon all the experience and all the challenges that we face so far into this new platform, which we're kind of getting to a stage where we're ready to release it to the market now.
Oh, businesses often evolve over time, as we know, and you touched there on 20 years. So what would you say the biggest challenges are faced by your customers today, and how are you going about meeting them?
You're spot on. Businesses, as they grow, they're always facing new challenges. So, it applies not just to our customers, but to us and pretty much across every industry. Again, we're kind of in this fortunate or interesting position where we're kind of straddling quite a few different industries. Obviously, sports betting and gaming, but also finance. We do a lot of stuff with government agencies around the world. I think the main thing is once operators reach a certain size, a lot of operators, sports betting and gambling, when they start out, working with a white label provider is great because it keeps their operating expenses low, and it kind of gets them a foothold in the markets to test their ideas. But obviously, once operators hit a certain size, having a shared platform and not having control of your own destiny starts to become more of an issue. So, our solution is we basically offer operators that chance to branch off of their own and have influence over the technology and the roadmap themselves. So, a simple truth is if you're big enough, I guess, you need to own your own stack. But again, as an operator, whose focus is on the business itself as opposed to technology, building your own stack isn't always the easiest thing to do. So, it carries a lot of risk, and I'm sure there's been a lot of there have been many stories of operators who've tried to take on building their own platform, their own sportsbook or their account management system that's not really worked out, because it's a process fraught with difficulties. So we're almost that real sweet spot of having a partner who will build the initial stack for you, or you take a license to what we've got today. We'll help you operate it for a while, and then ultimately transfer that technology and the skills across to the operator. So it frees up the operator from the initial build and having all that risk. They buy something that they know is going to work and work very well, and it makes them more, it's a more agile and faster approach to development. They have control over that, though, so they're not on a shared platform anymore. They're controlling the roadmap, and then again, they have the option to insource that and control their own destiny going forward. to the extent that they want to. Yeah.
And how has the market, you're involved in several markets, I know, but how has the kind of general regulatory mood and shift evolved over that time? How has your product to service offering evolved with it too?
No, for sure. So, yeah, I mean, the world's a much bigger place now in terms of regulated markets, certainly compared to when FinSoft, starting out 20, 25 years ago. So there's a lot more opportunity, clearly, but by the flip side of that is a lot more complexity and a lot more, every territory has its own rules now. Every states, territories have their own requirements. So there's no more one-size-fits-all approach of launch and cover as many territories as you want from a single instance. So the level of complexity is a fair few levels of magnitude higher than it used to be. And also, I mean, the world is much faster now. And obviously operators are having to adapt to that. So, the expectation from players is they want things instantly. They want it to happen now, not wanting to wait a day for bonuses to get granted or having some activity that gets flagged a little bit later. The tolerance for waiting has dropped quite a bit. So I think, technology has obviously tracked that in many ways. I mean, again, not just in sports betting and gaming, but across all these industries. The expectation of things happening in a live or...
Could you just run me through your TII offering? I just think this would be a great juncture in which to do that. What modules does it include, and is there anything to highlight in terms of capabilities and what sets it apart from other solutions in the market?
Yeah. So Tree's it's basically our new modular approach for what we're offering. So it's got a player account management system, it's got payments modules, bonus and loyalty engines, it's got the full sportsbook offering, it's got an iGaming platform. So that includes it's RGS plus. The RGS that we have is one of the largest independent, if not the largest independent RGS in the market still today. So, and there's kind of a few key design principles that we put together in the platform. One is very much going back to this real-time aspect. Real-time data is the core to the way we operate. So, we want a platform that thinks quickly and acts as quickly as people do. There's a lot of rule-based automation in this now. So, when we combine that with real data, again, it allows operators to have real actionable insights to what they should do with the player. Should they bonus them now immediately? And all that stuff again is happening in the background. The level of manual control has really been reduced now. And I guess when we say modular for our Tree platform, it really is. So you can take any of these modules. So you can take our sportsbook or our player account management system and all these kind of things. But we've almost now built things in such a way that it's wrong to think of these as standalone blocks which can't be broken down. So we've built all software with all these microservices that you don't have to take the full sportsbook anymore. You might just want to take our trading module, or you might just want to take our responsible gaming modules or a particular game engine. So it's kind of this puzzle piece that we've built, and it's very kind of pick and mix approach for candy lovers out there. But it's like I said, we can drill down. It's not just these big chunks anymore. We can drill down much more into specific software and help operators kind of with specific use cases now in a way that people couldn't before.
So essentially, Fincore is there to solve tech problems.
Mm-hmm.
That's the premise.
Absolutely, we're a technology first company, and that's how our approach is quite different. We're not in the market of necessarily selling services. We're software specialists solving software specific problems, and that's a key tenet of ours is focusing on what the customer needs and working with the customer for the customer is the founder's mentality, and I guess getting really into the depth of the business problems. We have a lot of analysts in the company that sit with the operators, work through what their business problems are, and really identify what the underlying issues are, and then we build technical solutions to solve that. And like I said, going back to our Tree platform, that's we think that's really the culmination of all this experience and all this know-how that we finally put together in a single coherent platform.
And how did you go about getting into the area of biometrics? Could you tell us a bit more about this technology and the role it plays currently in the gambling industry and what it could play in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. So outside of Tree, we've got this biometric system, facial recognition system that we specifically started to do with kind of in a UK retail context. So again, speaking with some UK retail bookmakers, the profitable shops were doing great, but the less profitable shops were really hurting in part because of higher and higher staff costs, and they were getting to a stage where they're becoming unprofitable. And then one of these UK retail bookmakers asked us, could you help us put together a solution for a staffless shop, but still be able to, hold up all the regulatory, all the legal requirements that UK retail has to deal with. So we did that as a proof of concept, went into a few casinos, and we've signed a few partnerships now for this facial recognition software. Generally speaking, for general use within the betting and gaming industry, but beyond that, obviously the sky's the limit. Now that we've got the system for recognizing faces, we're considering how else we could do it. What kind of KYC processes for online gaming, for example, can you speed up by having some kind of player detection, for example, personalized offers, loyalty when you walk to shops and online, all that kind of thing. We can start to offer with this new solution.
And how important is the experience and knowledge of the team that you have? How have you built out your team of specialists over the years? And are there any names that you can throw in that our audience might recognize?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So we're nothing without our staff, really. I think ultimately the company is just a collection of its people. And because we straddle a few of these industries, like I said before, gaming, finance, government systems, we've got quite an insight into all the different business processes out there and how they work and how we go about solving that. So, the level of magnitude, like I said, in gaming is actually a fair bit more complex than some of these other industries that we work with. Very high peak loads, 24/7 availability, live markets with constantly changing prices, and then not just software difficulties, right? But then, the technicalities of UK horse racing, for example, and how you bet on that, and all the different bet types and so on. There's a lot of very domain-specific knowledge, and that's what we do very well. We've got a lot of hybrid people that we bring together that kind of straddle the experts in tech and experts in their domain knowledge, and they have that knowledge to bring together and solve this problem. So that started with obviously our founders, Predrag and Soren, Predrag Popovic and Soren Christensen, and then drilling down through other people in the business. Ansel Bali, William Scott are still with us and been in the industry for a long time and are a big part of that. And then Milan Butorovic, Richard Shepard is part of that, which is have been kind of huge as part of the story. So
is that how you attract business to give them confidence that Fincore can support them? That reference there to how long you've been in the industry.
Absolutely. I guess our track record almost speaks for itself now. With 20, 25 years we've been together, and again, over the lifetimes of both companies, many customers have been with us for years, some decades. So it's like I said, I think that almost speaks for itself. And now that we're launching Tree, I guess a lot of the old Finsoft customers are getting back in touch, the ones who are looking for platforms that have worked for us before, to see, to come on board and kind of come on this new journey with us. And that's kind of always been our mantra, always build for the client, with the client, for the client. So building in isolation is very hard. So the more that you work with the client, the more that you listen to them, the better everything works.
Are you at liberty to say what customers you have, any of these longer term customers, or is that kind of confidential?
Sure. We work with Boyle Sports for a long time. We had a long association with GVC back when they were called that, and we've recently signed a new deal with a company called Zbet in Nigeria for their online operation, and also the football pools in the UK.
And how do you ensure those team members that you mentioned before align with your company culture? How does Fincore stand out in that regard? You mentioned hybrid working. You mentioned a team of specialists. Yeah. What do you do to attract top talent?
Yeah, it's a good question because the landscape is incredibly competitive out there, and just like many clients have been with us for many years, so have employees. I guess we've always had this mentality of, we're a company of 300 odd people now, but this mentality of everyone rolling up their sleeves and getting stuck in and helping the problems, whatever the level of seniority, is still very much there. And I think that's what attracts a lot of people. It's not a hierarchical structure where you necessarily only listen to your superior. I certainly really like to encourage that everyone challenges every idea, every concept, including myself, because we want to hear all these different ideas and perspectives. And again, we actually want to drill down to what are the issues that we're solving and how do we best solve them. So I think that's what that, I guess, can-do attitude and the ability to actually work on challenging and complex problems and not just do small little tasks. I think that's what mean, it helps us attract people, but very much helps us keep people with us. Like I said, for many, many years.
I wasn't aware that you had 300 employees. I can't believe you waited 15 minutes into this podcast to mention that. 300 people. Wow, that's a significant number. What was the number when you joined the company?
So I joined about 8 years ago, and it was maybe half that, if a little bit less. But we've grown a fair bit since then. Yeah.
Wow. Well done on that. Well done on that, and acquiring the new customers that you mentioned. Finally, to round us out, it's getting to that time of year. It's not quite December. What does the next 12 months have in store? What's 2024 for Fincore and its customers?
Very good question. Clearly, the big focus now is on Tree and the biometric system that we're rolling out. So, the first few customers are taking delivery in Q1 next year, Q2, and we're kind of in very, very active discussions for the next batch of customers to come after that. So the idea is to really push those products into the market now and build the Fincore name up again, to kind of eclipse where Finsoft was, being that kind of leading provider of software to the industry.
Well, thank you very much for coming on the podcast, Mateja. And I presume you're going to be at ICE in February. So
absolutely, yeah.
Everybody listening, go and meet them. I'd like to meet you in person. So I look forward to that as and when it comes.
Perfect. Thanks, Will.
Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. If you want to watch more, why not subscribe to our channel somewhere here.